Jordan here. In this video, this is episode 3 of my course where I'm going to show you how to make the game Tanks 2023. So in this video, we're going to be adding terrain instead of just this flat plane. So let's do that. So first, I'm just going to delete everything, the terrain and the cube we added as testing. I'm going to go create in the hierarchy, right click, and go 3D object, and I'm going to choose terrain. And there we go. I'm going to make the terrain size 100, I believe. And let's check the size. Maybe a bit bigger, maybe, let's say 150. Let's go back to settings. And 150 there and there. Now I'm going to go paint terrain, and I'm going to choose raise or lower terrain, and I'm going to choose these different kind of brushes. So if you have packs installed, you might even have more brushes than me, but I'm just using the built-in ones, all the built-in ones. And you can just kind of brush up and add in your terrain, and it makes it higher. And to make it lower, hold Shift and left click, and then it will just paint. And left click to raise. It shows it here. And I'll just paint all the terrain here. And I'll just paint it to have nice bumps, stuff like that. And I'll be back when I've done. And there. If we now move the tank up, move it and forward. And now if we just save the scene and we drive around to see what it will look like. Let's check it. If we drive around, there we go. Now you can just drive around on this nice terrain. And this is pretty much the base of our game. Yeah, I think that this is a good start. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a texture on it. So I'm going to select our terrain, and I'm going to go paint terrain and choose on this little drop down, paint texture. Paint texture. Whoops, let's remove these layers. You probably won't get them. And I'm going to go edit terrain layers, create layer. And I'm going to look for dirt. And now we have a nice dirt texture. Now, if you if we check on the dirt also, you might notice if you watch the second video that we have wrap mode and repeat set to it. If we didn't have repeat, I'll actually show you what it was originally, clamp. It would look a bit like this, where it only displays one texture. All the rest is just this weird stretched mess. So we've got to choose repeat on both the grass and the ground. We can then, and by the way, also it's now made this new layer on this terrain. So if we just get that in our assets folder, yeah, here it is. And it's in my scripts folder, apparently. So let's just move it out and put it in, I guess, the materials folder is fine. Yeah, rename it from new layer to dirt layer. And then we can, let's delete this dirt texture I have for some reason. Edit terrain layers and create a layer. And then let's search grass. And let's rename it to, whoops, cancel. And let's rename it to grass layer. Nice. And then we can paint it. And you can use any brush you want, by the way. It uses the same brush system as the painting, adding textures. So, I remember we have this grass patch in the middle. There, we have a bit of grass on top. And you can just add patchy grass areas. Like just a bit of grass here. And what I've also quite like is when it gets a bit higher, you add a bit of grass. But not too much grass. I try to avoid adding a huge amount of grass. The reason why is because then it looks a bit too green, and it just, I guess it looks a bit too pretty, I guess. So we just want to filter it with some dirt still. So now we have done that. If we check it, let's just add a bit of grass, a bit more grass over at the top here. And there we go. I think it's now looking good. If we just zoom out. Yeah. Next, I'm actually going to add the camera for the tank, because as you can see, this is actually what the game view you would see if you actually brought it to an application right now. Not that great, since you're underneath the terrain. So we're going to fix that now. So there are a couple ways to this. Actually, there are many ways to do this. So you could just like parent, which is what I sometimes used to do, and just parent the camera to the tank, which looks okay, but not very nice. Or you could use Unity's Cinemachine, which essentially adds way more different cameras, and it has a nice smooth following effect, all sorts. So I'll just hook up that quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to go Window, and we're going to go to Package Manager. We're going to go in Unity Registry, and we're going to search Cinemachine. Let's just wait for it to, there we go, it found it, Cinemachine, and install. It's just installing. And also this, they're not in Unity Registry, but you'd use this My Assets to find all your assets you got from the asset store, just so you know. We're then going to go over, we're going to, by the way, I'm going to rename from New Terrain just to, whoops, obviously I did something interesting there, and let's just rename from New Terrain to Terrain. I'm going to go a right click in a hierarchy. You may notice a new option called Cinemachine, and we're going to choose Virtual Camera. And as you can see, it's really kind of focusing on the tank, but we're going to go choose the Follow and the Look At. So now it looks at the tank and follows it nicely. We also are going to change the follow offset on body. Right click it and move it just like this. Nice. Then we're going to go over to the, where is it? Let's just go locked, on the binding mode, we're going to go lock to target on a sign. And now I believe if we play it, I'm going to make the tank, that actual camera of the tank a bit smaller, but now it does this camera movement, and it looks quite cool now. And we can drive it around. So let's just drive down here, and there, it's quite nice. So if we just check the game, so I'm a bit worried. No, it's fine. I was worried that the tank might have been a bit too big maybe for the terrain, or the terrain was a bit too small. But, I think it looks fine. Next, I'm going to just move it closer. Let's move this a bit closer. Next, I'm going to, let's just make the virtual camera, go body, make the wide just a bit bigger. Let's say 15, maybe let's say 13. Okay, that's fine. And let's press play again. Oh, and I accidentally set it on play mode. Usually this would reset it. It seems that Cinemachine keeps it on the Cinemachine, but usually it won't set it, and you need to copy it. And what's a cool trick I found is that, let's say you pressing play, right, just testing a feature, and then you move your tank, right? You move your tank, let's say over here, you can then go to this 3 dots on your, let's say on waiver variable, let's say what you change rotation speed into perfect value now. If you go back in out of play mode or reset it all. So what you want to do is to keep those values. You can, let's say, move it and then select the component you changed. Let's say I change the transforminess. Select the 3 dots, choose copy, and you can choose, let's say you change you want only copy the position, the rotational scale, or even just the whole component. Let's copy the whole component, reset it back, and then we can go paste component values, and it moved it to the position it was in edit mode, as you may notice. So it's quite cool actually. So I don't want it there. I'm going to move it right in the middle area. And there. Next, you may notice, I think one of the reasons why this terrain looks not that nice right now and just looks a bit odd, is because there's no grass. So let's add that. We're going to go to paint details and let's just edit details and remove. Let's edit details and add a grass texture. And if we add our grass, okay, add grass blades, and we choose it, and you may notice actually that the grass, I changed it to grayscale. And if you download grass, the grass texture, right, I just got it from Google, usually it would be green, of course, since that's what most grass looks like, except in this I made it grayscale because then we have the healthy and dry color, which is quite cool. So you can change it what it looks like, so it's randomly chosen with some certain like density, stuff like that. And you also have health and dry color, which will change the color of the grass. But if it's green, you'll literally never notice the difference between the colors. So what I do is I'll convert it to grayscale first. Right, if we now select our grass blades and we just paint them on, if we check it now, there you go. I might even go edit details, and I might make the grass way smaller. It's a bit too big. So max width 1. Let's just make this 0.5 and 0.5. Maybe even 0.7 and 1.4 and 1.4. If we apply, you can see now the grass looks quite nice. And also you can tell that this is like a dry grass color. This is a healthy dry grass color. Yeah, it's quite cool. So now on all the green bits, I guess, you can just kind of paint with some grass and it has a nice detail. So let's just paint it around. There's some there, some more in the middle area. And also what's cool is these are flat pieces of grass, but as you move your camera, and this camera in this case, then they all rotate to face you, which is quite cool. So it will never look flat. Right, let's paint some more there, and some more here. Nice. If we now press play, hopefully it'll look a bit better. And let's drive around. Yeah, I think it looks a bit nicer. We can drive around. We have some, yeah, so far it's coming together, I think. It's starting to become what the final result will look like. I think though we want to see a bit more in front, so let's go on our camera, virtual camera, body, and the Z, and lower the Y, and something like this. Oh, and by the way, in future episodes, I will actually eventually add a wall containing the tank, but not yet. But yeah, this is the end of this episode, and in the next episode, what we'll be doing is we'll be adding the border wall, and we'll be adding some extra details, the walls, stuff like that. So, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!